Welcome back everyone. I'm Jewel and we're on the Jewel's Peaceful Valley map. It's in the Giants editor and this is where you make maps, and that's what I'm doing. This is a Farming Simulator 19 map, and as you can see we have our power poles here, and I'm getting ready to start running them up this road, beside this road here. But on the last episode, if you watched it, I exported these from another map into this map and imported them into this map. And so now it's time to get these kind of in order, how that they need to be. And what my plan is to make sure that they're in order. Let me show you what I mean by that, because there's an index path and it has numbers, and I want it to be in order. And see, it says 64 blah, you know. Let me go to this one because it's the first one. 64 1. Well, if you click on this one, it's 64 and 0. So this would actually technically be the first one, and then you would go to the 1, and then you would go, as you can see, it went from this one, which is 0, to the 1. And then if this 2 was over here, it would click and highlight it, but it's somewhere else. So basically what I need to do, since I'm not going to be using these poles here at this point, I'm going to be using this taller pole, which is 6471. And in order to get the number what you want it to be, you need to move this up there. Now I'm sure there's another way, and I don't know if I don't remember what it is. I think I knew and I forgot of how you could do it easier, but essentially the one way that you can do it, there's an easier way, I just can't remember what it is. I think it's something to do with shift, and there might be another like, I don't know if it's control shift or alt or whichever one it is, but basically I want this one at the top of the list because it's my first one of that kind in this row that's going to be there, and it needs to say it's the first of the 0. So what I'm going to do is it's highlighted, and then you're going to right click on it and you're going to click move up. So I'm going to click, looks like, I don't wonder what happens if you click that. Does that hold it and let you pull it to the top, or does that do something else? I haven't tried that, so I'm going to hold off on that a minute. But basically you're going to click move up, and it's going to move it up 1. Now watch, when I click on it again, it's going to change the number to 70. You see that over here? Went to 70. Now watch it this time. It's going to go to 69. So I'm going to right click, click move up, then I'm going to click on it, highlight again, it says 69. So you can see we're making progress, but there's another way to do it, and I can't remember what it is. I'm going to do a test, and I could be making a boo-boo or a mistake. Maybe I should try it on a different one and make the mistake on a different one. Let's go up here. Well, I don't want to go that high. Oh, I lost my thing in the list. Okay, here we go. Let's pick number 3 or 2, and we're going to right click on it, and then we're going to click this and see what happens. So what did that do? Nothing. And if it did, it might have did something. I don't know what it did. Let's see, did it duplicate it in any way? Let's look down here. I don't know. I can't tell. So I'm not sure what that feature is or what it's there for. So let me see if I can hit shift or whatever and move it. Shift, and then I'm gonna click here. Okay, so it highlighted all of them when I did that. I don't want to do that. Okay, so see, control shift, and I'm gonna click here. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, so I don't remember, like I said, how you get it to move straight to the spot. I know you can click edit and paste, but it'll put it at the bottom of the list from my understanding. So I guess we could try it. Let me try it. Edit, cut, edit. Well, first we gotta highlight something. That's the problem. See, then it's gonna put it within the group. And if I stick clicking on this one, it's going to put it at the end of the group. That's just going to be weird. Well, we'll just do it. Paste. See, it sticks it at the end of the group. And that's not what I want. So, anyway, we're going to work our way up the way that I see. And if there's another way to do it, I'm sure I'll figure it out and remember how later. So we're going to hit move up. And then we're going to hit move up until we get to the top. There is another way to do it though, but I just don't know. I don't remember. But this is the one I need at the top. So then when I start duplicating, we're going to be going hopefully down the line into the right numbers. But we'll see. We'll see how it sets up. It's going to take a little bit, so bear with me. I appreciate everybody. I hope you stay tuned. I'm going to try to do a lot more work on here on the map because I need to get this one done so I can start my other one. But I'm really going to start the other one simultaneously. And but I got it, like I say, I got to get my stuff downloaded to get the program to be able to get what I need to get the map to do the real world map. So that's my whole thing. Am I getting the wrong one? Looks like it. Move up the line. I wonder if I hit, let me think. I wonder if I rolled it with the scroll wheel, or would it roll up? I'll have to try that some other time. I don't want to do no trial and error stuff right now. It's not a good time for it. A lot of things you learn on here is trial and error, so but sometimes that can backfire on you. So be very careful if you do that, because you can jam something up, you can delete something you didn't mean to delete, you can do a lot of things you didn't know that you were going to do. So cause a lot of headache. So always be when you try things very carefully, and usually you have a little bit of knowledge of things before you really try it. Things that you've done before or similar, and you think, well, this might work, and then it's okay, but you could have problems, so be careful. But I don't know everything about the map making, but I know a decent amount, and some of it I forget, but then I have to relearn it again, because if you don't do it often enough, you forget. I had a nice video I was gonna post about the water, but there's one little part that ain't wanting to do right. I can't post it until I get that part right, so that everybody can get the perfect answer for whatever it is. But I'll hold off on that video till I study it some more. But it's definitely very interesting. I learned a lot of different things, and figured a lot of things out just on my own. They may be videos out there, but some of it I figured out on my own. So, but I don't know the videos if they're out there. I hadn't seen some of them. I have seen some videos on things like that, but not the exact thing I was looking at. But I want to try to get it where I can post it, so help everybody if I can figure it out. But there's one little part I gotta figure out. So, but I hadn't worked on that part in a while. I've been trying to do with my other stuff I gotta do. So you get busy and you have to move on to the next thing. Alright, we're almost to the top. Oh, don't skip it. Oh, we've already messed up. Got the wrong one. Alright, let's get the right one moving up. Okay, now he's number 1. It should have been 0 though. Why does it say that? That one says 1 still. I'm confused. I'm confused. Okay, now it says 0. Now what do you say? 1. Okay, that's right. Perfect. Alright, we're good now. Alright, now I'm going to try something. I'm going to Control D, duplicate it. Okay, so it did stick it at the bottom. Oh, that's so rough. Rough, 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 rough. And then I would drag it over and have that same 1, but it would be like over here. And then the other one, then I would move the transform thing, this thing. I would duplicate it and move 1 here, so it's every other one or whatever. But now I have a deal with, I got to deal with putting them in order. So let me think. I might have to make another transform group and put these in it, but I don't know. Usually that can be a problem when you're moving them. So let me look. Let me see. So if I move all these out of there and put them in another folder, another transform group. Let me make a create transform group. Jump to the bottom, click on it, title it. Let me see, what should I title it? Utility poles other, I don't know. That way it's the secondary ones. We'll see. Whatever. Now I'm gonna go up and get all these. Let's see if that works. Now I don't know. Some of you may know and you're gonna say no, but I'm gonna try. Just give me a minute. If it's wrong, I can undo it. Alright. Control, I believe, is what I'm supposed to hit, but it might be shift. I can't remember now. Let me think. Go to the bottom. And then I think I hit Control and Shift. And it does all of them. And then I click right. Oh, I messed up. I clicked on it. I should have just went and clicked edit cut. Okay, let's go back up. Back up. Alright. Control. Oh, wait. Let's go back down where we can see it. Gotta highlight it. Control, Shift, this. Now go edit, cut. Alright. Uh-oh. There's everything at. Okay, there it is. Now click on the other one. And then we're going to click edit. Paste. Alright, let's go back up. Now it's in there. We're going to close it. And now we have just this one where we want it. And now, watch this. I'm going to hit Control D. Now I will have to delete that one that I moved over a while ago. Well, I don't have to delete it, but it's in the other thing. Alright, so now I did that. Now I'm going to move it over. And it's got the right number. Now watch this. Now the numbers are right. See that? And I don't know how to deal with it going weirdo on me. I'm going to go ahead and I guess I should leave that there. I mean, I'm going to move it out of this because it's obviously not there. Because I don't want it to get confusing. Like it's not in this little row thing. But because I'm going to leave it there so I have an extra one in there in that folder. Or what have you. So now I'm going to deal with these. So now I have these that I can use and have in order. So if you'll look, we got these in order, 0 and 1. Then when I duplicate it again, Control D, I got a number 2. And then I duplicate it again, I got a number 3. See? and I'll go ahead and make a few. That saves me from moving it up in the list. So I'm hoping there's not an issue that I've moved all those other ones. I don't think there is, but you know, you never know. So I'm gonna move this over. We're gonna obviously adjust them all. I'm just gonna put some here so they'll be there, and then you drag it over. You got to make sure you go ahead and drag it over when you duplicate, because if you click off, click back, you're gonna get these out of order, and they need to be in order. Control D, drag it over. Control D, drag it over. And as you can see, they're getting lower in the road. We're gonna move them over, get them up a little bit. And now I'm good for now, so I'm gonna go back over here. Now, what you need to do when you start duplicating again, you need to pick the very last one and go from there, so that when you're duplicating, you're going to be in order again. Okay, so we got some poles there. We're not through with them, obviously. Now we're going to deal with this. Now we're going to move these out of our way, get them out of the way. Alright, we're going to click on this one. Now these we already have in order, but what we would have to do is, if we want to make it faster and just do Control B, we could do that. Or this one has it set up to where it says 40, 41, 42, 43, and so on. Since we already have that, we can click on the second one like this, which would be the first one in this case, and hit Control B and just bring it over here like so. And then we got that one here, and finalize it. Then we can move down. Obviously this one is supposed to be further over, and this one is supposed to be here. We're going to measure it all later, so you'll be able to see this one's going to move over as well. And then we need to make sure these stayed in order. Okay, so we're good on those. Alright, so see this one, if you click on it, it's 6341. Now we need 42, so we can hit Control B and bring it wherever it's supposed to go. And just remember that they're in order or what have you, but we're clicking on these because they're already in order and they're already the right pole. Otherwise we could take these out again, either delete them or what have you, and then we could just duplicate each time and drag it over instead of trying to click on the right one. Okay, so if you don't click on the right one, you get them out of order. Okay, I don't think it's that crucial in this particular instance, but in the road instance it wouldn't be a good idea. So, but I want to keep everything kind of nice and neat and orderly, so that's why I'm trying to do this that way. So what we're going to do, we already have a few, so we can get started. Now I got to decide where to put this. Now we already brought this in to deal with how we were going to do it, how far away we were going to put it, if you saw the last episode before last. And we're going to bring this right on over here. And if we're gonna say that's a good spot for it, which we really need to bring that pole this way some more, because I don't want it so close to the road. I want it to make sense. So honestly, I wished I had the other road here so I could put this exactly the same distance from there as there and have it right in that crucial point, you know. But for now, we'll just deal with it. If it ain't exact, we'll have to just deal with it. So I'm going to try to move it over. I think the pole should at least be here, I guess. I don't know though. We're going to have another pole facing that way, so we'll have to see how that looks and supposed to be. Actually, let's have a look at the other map and see what they did on their turns. Alright, let's see what it looks like. They didn't even make nothing coming off of it. Let me go on the road over here. Anyway, I appreciate all the new subscribers. I hope you've been enjoying the channel and watching. I appreciate everybody. So let's see what we got here. So they didn't even, they just stuck that one there that didn't even have, this one's even taller than the ones. No, I guess it's not. Okay. So they just stuck that one there this way. And this one they angled. And it came here and they angled it. So they just angled it. So that's, I guess they're expecting me to angle that one then on that curve. So let me have a look and see. So I guess they're wanting me to angle this one. So let me look at it. See what it looks like. Make sure when you click on it that the whole thing's highlighted. You don't want to click on it and just have one part of it. So make sure it's the whole thing. And now we're going to just turn it. Let's just turn it, because if what we're going to have is we're going to back it up, and when this one comes to it, we'll be connecting it here and then connecting this one here and going that way. Otherwise we would have to have a weird two poles that kind of was all weird like. So we do need to have this one on an angle. I think that should be alright of an angle. I just don't know if it's too far. I wish I could see it in game. It would help me know, is it too far away from the road is the question. So I'm not going to do a whole bunch of poles until I can test it in game and then see how the light is actually shining, because it may be way too far from the road. But let me go have a look at theirs. That might tell me. Oh, theirs is right next to the road. I guess I could do that since I'm not putting any sidewalks. Let me look. Is the one where the sidewalk was, did they have it? Can't even find it. Where's the sidewalk at? Let me get in closer or I'll never see it. There's the sidewalk. I thought it was around here somewhere. Now I'm confused. Where is the sidewalk? Anyway, there's supposed to be a sidewalk. Here it is. Okay, so the sidewalk was behind the power poles in this case. Okay. So I'm not worried about that then. So I can put the power poles close, but the only reason I couldn't, if I went too close, would be curbs. If I put in any curbs in, I don't even see any curbs. Let me see. Alright, there's a curb. So I would have to make sure I at least left room for a potential curve. And you can see there's that power pole, that flag pole. They got it really tight and close, so I bet those lights hit just right. So I don't want to move very far away. Wonder how far that really is. Some of them are. This one's way further than that one. Look at the distance. Wow. Let me measure that. Okay, if you haven't seen how to do that before, you're going to go ahead and click on the square brush type of the terrain editing. And you're going to then click on the sculpt mode or the paint mode. We'll do paint mode. And as you can see now, we got this and we can measure it. So it's roughly, it's not going to let me do the exact number because it's jumping further up. But essentially it's this. So what is that? So let's just round it to 10, 0.10, and see what that looks like. Yeah. Roughly speaking, it's 0.10. Okay, so now we're going to jump to the next one and measure it. So let's turn it off. Run down just to see if they're all equal. They probably are not. They probably aren't, so don't panic if they're not. Okay, now it moved, so I gotta fix it to 10 again. That's why I did a set number. Alright. So let me get off of there and get in there closer. Alright, so let's do this again. 10. Then turn this on. So it's What in the world's going on with this thing? Oh, I see what happened. I see what happened. Now let's do it. There we go. 10. Alright. See, so it's a little further. The other one's a little further over, and this one's tighter. But it's close. So let's move to the next one and see. So keep changing that radius on purpose back to the other one. Now this one looks even closer. So we're going to click on it. We're going to try to just get the 1, 0. And we're going to click on this. It's probably going to take it away again. And it didn't do it, of course. I don't know why. We're going to roll it. It's the only way to get it to work. Roll it up. Once you get it rolled to where you want it, then you're gonna go back to 10 again on this, and then it's gonna change it. Alright, so see, that one's a little further over, but it's close. So they're only off by a little bit. The other one kind of hit about right there, but it was more over this way. So they're not exact. They just gave it a generic distance, so it's not exact. So we'll deal with that. But anyway, so now we'll go ahead. Let's check something else. I want to see the distance of the power poles, because I think they're all different. That one looks way further than that one. That one's shorter and shorter and short. So it's kind of weird. But I'm going to test this one and this one to that one and that one, and then one more. So we're going to click back on this measuring tool. We're going to make it big. And we're going to click it right over this. Alright, so that's close. So it's 12.69. Okay, so now we got to click off of it. Rotate this just a hair so we can get the same distance. Look, there we go. And alright, so see, that one's off. See, there's a difference. So that one hits, and then this one don't. It's over it. Then you're going to go to that one and don't even reach it. So theirs are all different. So they didn't make it exact. So if you don't want to measure, just plop them in place and don't worry about it. But if you want to do an exact job at a distance, then of course you'll do it. Now look at this power pole. It's all the way. Oh, okay, it looked like it was further back than that, but they didn't. Okay. And this one is turned. They didn't even worry about putting one that was crooked, because they're not putting any lines on it. But I would have to put one of them to turn. I would have to turn one of these to make it work, because I'm going to be maybe putting power lines. But I'll have to decide about that later if it's a pain. I mean, I know how to do it, but I don't know if I want to fight with it, because you got to hit them on each one of these things and line it up and get it just right and all kind of stuff. But anyway, at least we got all our measurements right. So let's jump back in to mine, since we got that figured out, that we're going to turn it and we're going to bring it closer to the road. We're going to pretend that, well, actually I need to move that. Let me paint that. Let's paint this green to get that under control, because I don't want to confuse the gravel with the road. It's just going to get me confused. You're not going to, it's just not going to work out good. So I think I got the right one. Nope, I got to do subtract. You got to roll down or up and do it subtract. No, excuse me. Hang on. Add. There we go. There we go. Just get that out from under there, because it's technically not. I mean, I could add a little bit of gravel on the side, but for now I'm not worried about it. I'm just measuring. Alright, So now we're going to bring this over and forward and assume. See, that's just too extravagant on that corner. I don't like it being that close. That's just wild. I just feel like when the other one comes along and hits it, it's gonna be a heck of a turn. That's gonna be a rough little turn there. Let me go look at that one more time. On a corner. So y'all didn't even turn this one. See, they didn't even do that one. Let's go see the other one. Just this one. Very interesting. That one is such an ease of a turn. It's got a little curve to it. But then this one they put dead on the end straight. Of course they figure, I guess you're gonna jump across or something. Let me look. Nope, they didn't even bring any down there. Just street lights. And then they jump back into one over here. Wow, they just randomly put them anywhere. They didn't really have a rhyme or a reason. They didn't even turn these sideways either. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. They kept them just facing the road. Alright. Well, I'm thinking I don't like the way that looks. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to move it off of the road some. I'm thinking that's a decent amount of distance right there. On this part. Another thing is I'm gonna have an issue with this road the way it ended. I actually might change it, and then I'll be clicking this and turning it so it hits that other road, and then I'll regenerate this road again because it needs to hit into it. Technically, I was gonna do some of those to where they had that corner piece that hooks, but I'll have to look at that later, so we're not gonna worry about that for now. But I think that's good enough. I'm gonna leave it about right there. Let me see how far this. Let me turn this around, see the distance of that, and see if that can be my measurement. Cause I don't wanna. I want something to give me a measurement and not be all crooked and weird. Alright, so let's get this all lined up. Okay, so I guess that would be a decent amount. So I'll just move this till it touches it and say that's pretty good. The only problem is it's not going to be on the end down there. So it's really not on the corner. But do I want to move it and fight with it? Just don't know if that's going to look right. Because this is a different... Like if this road was a curve, I might would have to change the shape of the road if I needed to, but I really didn't. This one was a pain to do, so I really don't want to change this road. So I'm going to leave that there and go from there, and if I have to move it, I'll move it. But we'll just slide this back and see, make sure it touches at least. Where's the other part? There it is. There we go. And then we'll just make sure it touches this. And we'll call that good. Then we'll move this down to about where we think it's going to be. we'll gently drag it over to touch the road and have to move it again, square it up a little. We're gonna tip it a little to get it where I can see it. It's just not lining up. There we go. Now we got that. Now we're gonna pick this pole, put it over here, touch it up, clicked off of it, touching this, and this needs to be turned, so I have to look at it. That looks decent. Maybe a little more. I think that's good, hopefully. Alright, so now we're going to be making sure that I guess that these lines are in that direction. This one doesn't have one, so I can't match it up. But if I do it on that side, I need them all to be facing that way. Otherwise, I need to turn it around and face it the other way. Looks like it's not straight. I think that's better. Hopefully. Alright, so that should be okay, but what size are we going to put them apart? Do we care, or we're going to freehand it? You know what? I think I'm going to freehand it because not all the road ones are equal, and I don't want to sit here and take the time to measure each one. So I'm going to do it freehanded and go from there. So now we're going to, that's not what I wanted to do. Put that one back. Actually, it's a little close. I'm going to move it over some more. Let me look at it from down here. I think that's about right. I don't think it's extravagant. We could go a little further. Let's click on this. Drag it over. I think it's touching still. Let's bring it over just a little. I think we should bring it. I think that's good right there. Now let's click this. Bring it over where we think it should go. About right here somewhere. We'll just bring this down. If you don't have one of these, you can get it on that channel I showed when I was making the roads. So you'd have to look at that channel that I mentioned in the video. But they don't have the road blind street constructor anymore on the site that I put a link for. So the video that I told you about, the channel I told you about in the video, go to their channel, and if they still have it, you can look in their description and get this and the Spline Street Constructor in their Google Drive. It's two different things. So now we're going to move and click on another power pole, which would be the second power pole, and we're going to move it over, bring it up. Gotta click undo because that was not what I had in mind. You gotta watch out and don't click on that blue one. Now we're going to bring it over, bring it up, bring it over, touch this so that everything matches pretty close. Now we have a little, this one's not in the right position. We need to spin it around so that the light goes to the road. And if you'll use the blue line, you'll kind of know when you're pretty straight to the road. So we'll do that, and then that situates this on that side, and now we're good. And you just have a look at it, make sure it's going that way good. And you also need to make sure they're in the ground so that they're touching the ground like so. Just if you bring them up, you'll see when they're touching, and check these if they're in the ground. So you're going to highlight it, lift it, you'll see that it is, and then barely put it in the ground, and we can adjust it accordingly. And this one you're going to do the same thing. Make sure you lift it and barely put it in the ground. And then you got about the same height. And now we can move along. Click on this, drag it over, and you can just eyeball these and see, do they look about right, or does this need to move over, or really don't matter, but that don't look even, so just move it over a hair. Make sure it didn't come in too far. Nope. Alright, so now we're gonna eyeball these, probably bring it back a little, tip it up a little, make sure I can see it. And we're just, it don't have to be perfect, but I'm just giving it a little bit of uniformity. Trying to anyway. That's about right. So we'll leave that there. And then we're going to say, well, this is the third one. Oh, actually, no, it's the other one. So we're going to click on that one. And we got to duplicate it. Well, actually, we're already duplicated. So we're going to say it's this one. So we already duplicated it. So we'll move it over. And then it'll be in the right order. And we'll put this up against here. We're just going to be eyeballing the distances. Going to turn this one. Put that over a little bit more. That gives us about the right distance. Make sure our line is in the same direction. That one's still crooked. At least it looks crooked to me. Is it crooked? Hard to tell right there. Looks crooked to me. I'll have to try to come from another angle. Yep. See how it's crooked? Wake up, Jewel. My little dog's asleep. She's having a bad dream. Alright. There we go. Let me move over. Back up. And the distance looks pretty decent. Yep. That's good. Come down here. Check this again. Pretty good. Got the double check the side that the thing's going on this side. That's good. So everything's uniform. Looks good. On to the next one. And obviously this one is not it. We're going to move it on down further. But we do need the transform box one. So I'm assuming it's this one. Look in the list. If it's the third one, it is. We're going to bring it over a little bit. We're going to move this down just a little more out of the way. We can't pass this one. We got to make sure that one stays ahead of this one. Got to keep them in order. So now we're going to click on this, drag it till we think it's about the right distance, and bring it over. And we're going to tip that so it'll go the right spot. Bring that over just a hair. Straighten it up a little. And lower it just to get the check on that. Alright, so now we're going to bring this in to this. Roll in so we can see when we get there. Touch it. Alright. Now we got to rotate. Put the light toward the road. Check the squareness or how it looks toward the road. Does it look good? Something like that. Now we got to do a couple things. We need to do our lift and then barely put it in. It's always something you got to check, make sure. And then you got to double check the the pole itself, make sure that part looks like it's crooked, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Trying to get lined up with it so I can tell. That's gonna tell you a lot where that is. So that should be straight to the road, I think. And hopefully, if you look up here, hopefully we're not crooked. Oh, it looks a little crooked, don't it? I'm gonna turn that, make it look angled more. I think that's pretty good right there. So, as you can see, we got another one. And we're going to do a few more, and then we're going to call it quits for this episode, because it's been quite a bit. We'll move this along, alternating the different ones. Lift it up. Well, we go up a little more. Check it. Bring it over. Lower it. Just checking. Should be about right there. Yeah. I gotta bring it up because the road's kind of grounds up in the air there. Alright, so now we need a regular one again. We're gonna click this one. It's our third one. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So actually this needs to move over to about, I don't know, about right there. Looks about right. Bring this down. Click on this, move it over. Click on this and double check and make sure it's where it needs to be. It's not quite there yet. And adjust it accordingly. Try to match it up as best you can so that it matches when you're doing the road and the poles together. So now we're going to take this pole, we'll bring it over just a little. Oh, I accidentally separated the line. I got to click undo. If you saw, I clicked only the line and not the whole thing. Like I told you, you got to make sure you click the whole thing or you have a problem. Got to bring it in where I can see. And then we got to tilt it a little. We'll see if that's right. Actually don't look half bad. It looks a little more crooked when you get higher in the air though. But when you're down lower it doesn't. So it's kind of weird. I think that's halfway decent. But now we got to worry about how high it is. So we got to bring it down. Then we might have to move it over some more. Alright, it's touching the ground. And move it over just a little. I think. Well, we'll see. There we go. So that don't look bad. See how nice them look? That looks good to me. I can always smooth this little edge out. I can take and click on this sculpt mode, lower this down and click, it's already on the smooth button on the right mouse button, and just smooth right on down if I don't like it, you know. So there you go. But I don't typically want to do that because I had fixed it up by the road there, because you got to get this right here, the road up to it, and I shouldn't have took that away because I think I had fixed it. So I'm going to back that up a minute. I can smooth it out later, I just need to lift it higher under here. But for now, I guess that's good. We'll call it an episode, but you know, then we're going to jump to the next transform and alternate between the two, and we'll have our power poles going along, and we'll be all set. But I guess I'm going to call it episode here. Not because the bell rang, just because it's already been long enough. But I'm going to catch you on the next one. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.